Hello everyone. So today I'm going to share a small tip using the so-called extension property here. And in order for you to understand the context here, I was trying to set up a small projects. Basically it's just it's like a hello work project. So I will run it and we see how it works. That's simple. So it just printed out the hello work. So and then sometimes I want to lock things out to the logcat window here. For example, I want to lock it when the life cycle of this activity change into on star. I use the log API from Android SDK, and I change here. Probably main activity. No, I will do it down on star, for example, and I also want to lock it when the activity change, the life cycle of the activity change into on stuff. I will just go ahead and copy this line and change from on start to on stop, and then we run. Alright, so I will filter the log here. As you can see, we can see the first log here at like 15, and it's print on star here. And then we go to the emulator, and if I push the app into background, and I would expect the second log to be printed on the logcat. See? So speaking of tag here, so what I'm using here is the exact name of the activity, main activity, right? Back in the day with Java, we often do, like, for example, let me remember, we basically, if you use it in Java, then I remember we define, there's a common practice that I've seen a lot out there, that we define a tag constant, but here in Kotlin I would say, like, it looks like then tag and Java, class Java or something, and simple name, it is the class Java, that's simple name. Right? So back in the day, if we write Java, and let me give you an example. Like, I will create a Java class, say a hello work object, for example, and it's called object hello work. All right, and inside there will be a function, a method called like private do something, do something, and then inside we declare a constant. No, this is Java, man. It's Java, and we declare a static final, private static final tag. No, tie, oh man, and that would be, let me remember, I forgot already, hello work dot class dot simple name, and then we lock it down, alright, lock E, and then we pass a task here, and then we call the method name to check on the logcat here, whether we call this function this method do something. Yeah. So this is the old style of Java. We create a start final tag. Basically, it's just like a constant in Java, and then we retrieve the class, the simple name of the class, you know. But when it comes to Kotlin, the thing is we cannot do that anymore. Say, for example, if I get the companion and I move to this one to the companion, and then I try to make this one as constant, you know, and then the compiler we complained, you know, that we cannot do this when the tag is a constant, you know. So we can't do the exact same as the old way of Java, you know. So I have to move it down. Now. Make it a tag, for example, and then I pass the tags here, because the tag here that I use for the two log calls is the same as the class name, the symbol name of the class. So I will try to remove the duplication here by defining a common variable for the two log calls here, which is the tag property here, and I run it. Alright, we can see this. Okay, let me try to push in the background, and as we can see the exact same logs as before. But let's imagine like we have a lot of classes that needs to use the log API from Android SDK, and we need to, whenever we create the new class, for example, we have to define a new tag property for each of class, and there's a bunch of duplication over there. And I have a tip here. I have a suggestion to eliminate this duplication, you know. So given that if I define a new property, so any using the extension property or tag, for example, and this tag is string, and then inside here I will retrieve Java. No. Wait, sorry. Get this Java symbol name, for example, and then let's try to remove this one. Okay, it still works, you know, it still works. Okay, so now, so let me try it again. Let me show you. So after I remove this internal tag property, no, this it's not internal. Like after I remove this tag property of the main activity, the code is still compiled. It's still compilable. You know why? Because then the compiler will understand that this tag here is defined by this extension property, you know. And let me try to run whether it works or not. Alright, it works. So let me try to push into background and put into 4 again. It still works. So when I access the tag, the extension property tag here, so the any here would be the main activity. So let me try to create another Kotlin class, for example, like hello Kotlin, for example, a new class, and inside this class I have a function like do something, for example, and we access the log API call, and then I continue to tag, see, do something. So it still works, see. So the compiler will understand that this tag is from the extension property, the by default. So one benefit is clearly that we don't need to define, you know, each of tag property and then do some boring work like access the you know, the Java, you know, classes .java and supername anymore. We don't need to do that, you know. So the thing here, we just define one extension property, and we can reuse this in different classes, many different classes, you know. All right, I can just move this one into different file, for example, and you know, different file. Let me remove. Okay, move to the inner tag here, and the code is still compilable, you know. So yeah, so we don't need to do like we did before with Java anymore, you know. Back in the day when I wrote Java code, you know, for each of the classes, then I have to write like tag for each of the classes. There would be a constant tag just for logging like this, you know. But for Kotlin, because Kotlin support the new concept here, which is extension property, so I can do things like, you know, like this, you know. If I an extension property nk and then I can reuse this. I can reuse it anywhere in somewhere else, you know. Good, right? Okay. But there's a notice, you know. We need to. There's something that we need to care about. For example, like if I call here, we call this I method here in this onStar, and then we understand that the tag here, that this, for example, in particular, that this variable here, right? Is a variable, right? This here is the main activity, right? So if you call in this context, we understand that the list here is the main activity. But let's assume that we call something like, for example, like say I have a string here, hello, oh no, like awesome, and then if I call apply, for example, and then if I move the and move the log here, and then if I remove this list, this let's run again and see how it goes differently. Okay, so so we don't see the onStar log anymore, but if I push the background, I can see the onStar, you know. Putting it into foreground again, so we don't see the onStar anymore. Why? You know, when let's have a look at the code again. Looks like, you know, it seems like that. So you know why? Let me tell you that because, you know, because of this that has changed already, you know. So if I, for example, if I try to clear the filter here, we can see the onStar. Here onStar, right? See? But this has changed already, you know. The tag, you know, previously it was main activity, but now it's is string. So it means that let me check here, the tag function. So the any here, this has changed already when it be put into the apply block, you know. So the tag here, if I put this implicitly, and this here is no longer activity anymore, but in this context, you know, of the apply block, that this is the string, as you can see in the code editor here, you know. So that this here actually is this string, not main activity. So it depends on where you call the tag here, you know. The conclusion here, if you call the lock here inside the apply block, for example, it might take this of the apply block instead of the outer, you know, like the outer class that we you know, where we call the apply block, you know. If you put the lock outside of the if we put the lock call outside of the apply blocks, and this here now this here becomes the main activity again. But if we move into inside the apply block, that this has changed into this into the string, right? Let me check whether it would be the same for the same goes for the run block, you know. Now let's try run again. So this here has changed. See what happened. Okay, yes, this just goes the same for the run block, you know. Okay, move it down, you know. So there's some caveat that we need to be aware of, you know. And also, you know, like I was thinking a new improvement for this lockout, for example. You know, I was thinking sort of things like, let me close it. So, you know, in order to log something, you know, and we had to access the log API from Android SDK, and then to whether we should print it as a info level. We need to indicate the level of the log here. We have many levels like info, debug, warning, and even errors, you know. And I was thinking about a better way to do that with Kotlin, say using extension function, any and the e function, for example, and I pass the message. No, return unique. Not vast, sorry, my silly mix tag. Function. And then inside I access the log API from Android SDK, and I access the tag property for any, and then pass the message. So I was trying to make it a little bit shorter, to create a sort of new I function that wraps around the I methods from the log API from the Android SDK. So let's try to use this here. Check the E function, and then I don't need to specify tags anymore. I just go ahead and write out the message. See, and here I just change into on stop. Good. Okay, no error. So let me try to run whether I was, and I will filter main activity. Okay, it works. Let's try to push into background. All right, see. So the logs, the logs got a little bit simpler, So now if you want to print something, but actually go back to the function we have. Actually, we can define like a sort of wrapper function for not only the I call here, but also for the debug, for example. Debug. Let me try to do that. Wrong key. Oh, sorry. And try to see. So instead of calling log.id and pass the tag in, so you can try to reduce a little bit of work here by defining a function that wrap around this verbose function from the Android SDK, So if you want to call like D, for example, see, it should work. And yeah. So let me summarize what I've shown you guys here today. So I introduced you guys, a sort of new extension property called tag, that whenever we call the logs API from Android SDK, we don't need to define a constant called tag here and then do a little bit boring work to retrieve the sample name of the class here, and then we just go ahead and access the logs API from Android SDK and then pass the extension property directly here, And the second tip is to define a sort of wrapper function around the log APIs from Android SDK, so that whenever we want to log something at the I level here, at the I level, and then we can just call directly the I function and pass the message without without accessing the log and then dot and then I and then passing the tag anymore, Okay. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Yeah.